Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz and today I'm going to be talking about solo traveling. So I don't think I've ever talked about solo traveling in my channel, but I do talk a lot about traveling because that's my passion. So today I want to give you guys some advice and kind of tell you my experiences of what I've experienced solo traveling in so many different countries. And also I've traveled to 22 countries and a lot of them have been on my own. And to be 100% honest, some of my best trips have been alone. I will tell you like my good and my bad experiences because there's been both, but mostly very pleasant, incredible experiences. So first, I kind of wanted to tell you something about solo traveling. You will fall in love with solo traveling. Well, I did. And honestly, it's a really incredible way to really get to know yourself as a person and to really get to know your surroundings and your likes, dislikes, what your tolerance is. It would really test your patience. It would test everything within you. So I feel like if you ever have the opportunity to solo travel, I definitely empower it because honestly, solo traveling has made me a much better person, and I definitely have had some of the most incredible memories from solo traveling. I've met some of the most incredible people through solo traveling, and honestly, I think everybody should do it at one point in their lives if you can. But it's not for everybody, obviously. But honestly, I at the beginning was very scared to travel on my own because you hear about all these really bad stories. And I've got to say, I travel a lot in Europe, and that's absolutely fine. I can't really speak for other people's experiences or other people like in different countries. I can just speak for my own experiences. And honestly, as a female solo traveler, I felt super safe in France and in Europe. So I feel like honestly, you should definitely do it. Definitely, it's one thing that everybody should absolutely do. Especially, I encourage all females and everybody to do it because I'm an advocate for that. So let's get going with it. One of my first advices is regarding solo traveling, obviously, is first is your safety. I feel like everybody, this is a general rule for everybody, but yes, especially for females, we feel like we have a tendency of having to really be careful regarding our surroundings because you really don't ever know anything can something. I feel like a tongue twisting like every single word. I need to just like speak. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day. But yes, let me go ahead and just continue. I'm so excited about talking about this. I'm talking so fast. Okay, so first of all, and here we go with the alarm. First of all, safety, guys, is super important. Girls, everybody, it's super important to make sure you stay safe. It really, really is important. So I advise you to please at least have one communication with one person who knows exactly where you're at. Maybe it doesn't have to be throughout the whole entire day, because if you're the kind of person like I am, I'm very spontaneous and I don't like to plan my day. I kind of just like to just go everywhere, like if I want to literally decide, okay, in 5 minutes I'm gonna go hiking, I'm just gonna go hiking. But the responsible thing to do is to kind of have a plan or an idea of what you're gonna do. I wouldn't say like plan your whole entire day, but maybe it hits like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. where you're at in that country, and just let somebody know at 8 p.m. I should be here. Message me, or you message them, and then that's how you like. It doesn't have to be every single day, but it's better if it is. But for me, for example, I communicated with my family like every like once a week, or I try to communicate more often. It really depends if I feel lonely or not. Like, okay, if I'm having too much fun, I'm a bad example. Don't follow. Do as I say, not as I do. So, as I was saying, you should really communicate at least once a day. I would say, yeah, once a day. Say, I'm alive. Even if you want to message your sister, brother, your mom, your dad, whoever that you're close to, grandparents, friends, message them saying, hey, today I'm alive. I'm good. stock tomorrow. And then just let somebody know where you're at. I feel like that's really important. And then also, if you feel like you're going somewhere where you don't know really well and you feel, you know, you always have that gut feeling, I feel like you should always pay attention to that. If you don't feel comfortable, definitely let that person know. Or you're going on a day trip with people you don't know. This is where I'm going. This is kind of who I'm going with, because you really feel like you can trust people sometimes, and you really can't. They're strangers, and you really have to get to know them and feel your instinct and your gut feelings. So yeah, and there's also aside from communicating with family and everything of that, I'm pretty sure most people know this is common sense, but some people just like to just go out there and just like not communicate for months or weeks. So you never know what can happen. I'm a crime junkie fan. I don't know if any of you watch it, but I love like crime shows, and this is the first thing that you should do, because a lot of people go missing or things happen. If you don't communicate very well, it would take a lot longer for somebody to find you. Just saying. I know that's like super weird to throw in this comment, but I'm just like true crime junkie fan. Okay. Anyways, let's just ignore that and keep going, or not ignore it. But anyways, so my second tip would be, oh yeah, regarding safety, one more thing. You can also enroll to a STEP program. I think that's what it's called on the government side, through the U.S. Embassy, or through any embassy, because I don't know who might be watching this. So go ahead and make sure you communicate with the embassy that you're at from your origin country, because most countries, they should have them. So let them know where you're at, because the government will keep track of where you're at in case something was to happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but in case it does, you should definitely make sure you have all of that taken care of. Okay, number 2. There's different forms of lodging, logement. So there's different ways where you can, different ways. There's different places where you can stay. This video is all over the place, guys. I apologize ahead of time. I will redo this, but as of now, for lodging. So you can stay, either you can couch surf, you can go in a hostel, you can go in a hotel, you can rent an Airbnb. There's really so many things that you can do, or stay at a friend's house, or somebody, a family member, if you know somebody from that country, you can definitely do that. So I definitely suggest, if you do know somebody and they're accepting to you, go ahead and stay in their place, because that's the most comfortable, and free is always better. But if you feel more comfortable staying in a hotel, go ahead and do that. Just know everything has its pros and cons. And for example, hotels, you really don't have that freedom of really meeting a lot of people. I feel like it would be more lonelier. Like, I've done it and it hasn't been my favorite experience. So, but some people like hotels and like to just, live life, knowing things are secure, everything's secure. They don't have to worry about things. So if you're that kind of person, go ahead. Some people like to rent Airbnbs. I do recommend renting like Airbnbs if you have a big group of people, because that would be more financially smart to do. And also, you have your own space to like cook, and your own space to just pretty much lounge and feel like you're at home. It also depends on how much time you're spending in that place. So yeah, for example, for me, I've done Airbnbs while I've traveled. I've done hotels, but I've mostly done hostels. So I know hostels are not, I don't know, like, I feel like a lot of my friends that I've talked to and like recommended hostels to, they've always thought of hostels like of the Hostel movie, or like really like, oh, really dodgy, like really sketchy place that they would never want to stay at. But I had like my best friend stay with me in different hostels, and we tried it all. And you kind of like have to really give it an opportunity. You have to give, this is general rule in life, you have to give things opportunities to really truly judge it, like your own experience, not based on others' experience, on your own experience. So for example, for us, like the first time I stayed in a hostel, it was back in Miami, and I literally met really incredible people, probably a group of 10 people. We spent like 3-4 days together, the entire day, every single day. So we really connected, we all clicked. What happened to my camera? So yeah, sometimes you get those hostels where you really connect with people. The stay is very great, it's very friendly, and you have free food, so it's like the best place in the world. And I was literally right next to Miami Beach, and it was really like 50, or no, it wasn't that expensive. I think it was like 20 a night or something like that, something ridiculous, like super cheap. So I feel like hostels are a great way to meet people. I myself love meeting international people, love getting to know the different cultures and just like getting around with everybody and just like really embrace that. Really embrace other personalities. So I really enjoy that. If you're that kind of person who's more social and kind of like to talk to other people and enjoy doing things, I definitely recommend a hostel. I know some people that go there, um, especially to party hostels. If you go to a party hostel and you don't like to party, or if you really are just to yourself and you get annoyed of noise, you don't stay in a hostel. Just get a private room first, because hostels have private rooms, so you can get one of those. Or you can just go in a hotel or an Airbnb somewhere else where you won't be bothered. Because when you go to this kind of hostels, you're gonna be around that environment. That's why it's called a party hostel. But there's also other kinds of hostels, and it really depends. Some hostels can have like 2 beds. I've stayed in a hostel with literally me and my friend in a room and big beds. I was like, this is a hostel? Okay. But you know how much it costs a night? Like $10 a night. So I was like, I am not complaining at all. And then there's some times where, I don't know, like, you stay in a hostel and it's very sketchy, and it's not sketchy, but it's like dirty. People don't clean after themselves, and it's not very great. So you really, really have to read the reviews. Most hostels will have a rating system where you can rate the cleanliness, the safety, the security, if they have airport transport, if they have um, check-in, like late check-in, early arrival. I don't know, like all these perks and quirks about it. There's like so many different things you can rate it on, honestly. Like there's some hostels that are really far away from the city, and there's some hostels that are right there in the middle spot, which you can stay in a place that I do suggest staying in a place that's really close to the center, so you don't really have to spend a lot of money on transportation, because most of the time as a tourist you're going to spend a lot of time in the center. You could always like transport if you're gonna go maybe hiking or something, but most of the time you're gonna want to spend time where the popular touristic things are. Most people do. Unless you know you want to do something else, you can go ahead and plan accordingly. But I do suggest looking into that because, for example, transportation. Okay, I'm done with stay and everything because yeah, you should make your own option. There's like perks and also downsides to everything. Like you never know who you might meet. People who couch surf have had really good experiences, and some people have had terrible experiences. So you really have to look on your own. Even couch surfing has like a site where everybody can rate everyone pretty much. So I feel like with that kind of system, you kind of know how many people have stayed there, how many people agree with that, how many people enjoyed it. And not to say like just because I enjoyed it means you would enjoy it. Everybody has different opinions about everything, so make your own best judgment. And then, but you'll definitely have a lot less privacy in the hostel. Just a warning. But honestly, some people don't mind. Like I don't mind having like not that much privacy because I know I'm not gonna be staying there for that long. Alright, the next part is oh yes, another thing I do want to mention about hostels, and not just hostels, but I feel like you can find Facebook groups or like different activities. Like they have free tours where you can join a group of people and you can just tip whatever you want. It's not like you really have to pay like 40 euros or $40. You can really tip whatever you want. Obviously, you should be kind as you would want to get tipped. So yeah, there's a lot of tours like that, and a lot of people you can meet during those tours, and you really won't feel lonely. The one thing I do like about hostels that I try to look at is if they include bar hopping tours, because those are always fun, and also if they include just like tours in general, because some places like for example Budapest or Prague, they included like bar hopping and also breakfast and bar hopping, breakfast, and a mini tour during the day, and that was literally for like $9 a night. So it's super inexpensive, and it's literally one of my best experiences in Europe in general. So I definitely suggest looking into that. If you're not staying in a hostel, you don't feel comfortable doing that, maybe you can join a hostel. You can always ask. There's nothing you can lose by asking. And then also there's different groups that you can also find on Facebook, I feel like, and also online. You can make sure it's obviously like legit. Do your research, be smart and educated about those things, because those are things that are important. And if you feel like it's legit, you feel like you trust it, you go ahead and go through that organization. Hostels are a good way to do it because you know it's an actual setting where a lot of different travelers are going and you see the reviews of other people. So even if you're not staying at a hostel, you could potentially still do that. I know some people that have. Another thing, if you don't have international plan, I think most plans you can just add it for the maybe that month or that time that you're gonna be out, so you don't have these roaming charges all over because they're really expensive. My sister has done it and it's like really really expensive. T-Mobile is great for that for charging you a lot, but also they do have international plan that's not that expensive. Also, you can find like a SIM card that's the local SIM card that you can just rent or buy. That's not expensive at all either. Or you can also like try to plan out places where you can use Wi-Fi. Because honestly, be real, like when you're on a trip, you want to be taking pictures, you want to be posting on social media, but honestly, you shouldn't be on social media all the time. You should be living in the present. That's what I think, at least. And then also, since you won't always have data or it always won't work, like inside a train or underground, like the metros, you'll have to maybe download a map or like already plan where you're going, what transportation you're going to be taking. And Maps.me, I believe, is a really good one where you can just like download and use it without Wi-Fi or internet connection. So you always know where you're going and you don't end up lost. Always be aware of your surroundings. And countries are very popular, very populated. You will have pickpockets that will try to really like rob anything that you have in your pockets or close by. So make sure you're not flashing your phone around. Make sure if you look, it's better to look at a watch if you have a watch instead of always looking at your phone. They know when you're a tourist. Europeans don't use phone as much as Americans do. And always try to look confident, know where you're going because people can detect right away if you're a tourist. Also the way you're dressing. They know when you're a tourist. Another thing is currency. Make sure you change your currency at home. I think I do feel like it's better to change your currency ahead of time. So if you can talk to your bank and kind of compare prices between, I'm dying here. Okay. Compare your prices into the different places where you can exchange it, because you can either exchange it at a local ATM over there and never exchange it at an airport because it's like 5 times as much. And then if you can exchange it with your bank, they can give you really good ratings if it's well in advance, because sometimes they don't have the currency as much as you want. Don't take a lot of money, obviously. If you can, get a travel card so it's always free from currency exchange fees, because those will get to you too. They will like literally accumulate really really quick. And then what else? And last thing I think I want to say is make sure you do your research. Kind of when research about the culture, because cultures are very different and some things are accepted in some countries and some things are not. So make sure you do your research. Make sure you don't do anything offensive to offend that culture. Sometimes like putting your hand up like that can mean a bad word in some countries. So honestly, you should really do your research just to be educated and know where you're going. You know, it's also good to appreciate the culture. And then also, lastly, make sure if you, this is just like an extra plus to other people, they would be like, wow, you're so incredible. Try to learn how to say hi and thank you and goodbye. That will take you a long way, very long way, especially with French people. I don't know especially, but I know this for a fact because I lived in France for a year. And French people really appreciate it when you try. They may seem cold and rude, but that's just the, you know, like how we perceive it. I don't feel like they're rude. I feel like they're super friendly, super nice and open. But as long as you put an effort. So yeah, that's all my tips and advice for now. I was gonna give you my horror stories, but it's already 19 minutes in, so I will go ahead and tell you guys in a different video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll share more stories with you guys. If you guys want to know anything, go ahead and comment down below. Bye.